Oh,
over
hey, hold
here.
up right quick. Hey, what's up? Not a coincidence. What's up with it, homie? Why you got my motherfucking name in your mouth, nigga? What's up, homie? What's up?
Yo, you know why, bro? Because you stay
Nigga, I don't even know
fronting
you,
about
nigga. What
something.
you
Like,
mean? I know why.
yo,
I
I
don't
don't
know you,
listen.
nigga.
You's
You a
a
nigga off the
listen.
internet. You tag me on
See,
IG, nigga. That's
this is why I
how I
didn't
knew
want to talk to
who
you.
you was, nigga.
This is
I'm
why
trying
I
to figure
didn't.
out who
So
the fuck
answer the
is you, nigga, and
question.
why you
Answer
got
the
my name
question.
in your mouth like you know me or something, nigga.
See, look, you don't let me ask you the question now. I'm about to tell you why. Because you be fronting all this non-African shit, but you got videos talking about Sankofa tribe.
We gonna call it Sankofa tribe, man. Hey, y'all. All right, nigga.
Sankofa is
All
a
right. Well,
West
let's talk
African
about
word.
it. Sankofa is a West African word.
So this is only
All
two
right, so
years
let's
ago.
talk
So
about
where did
it
you get
then,
this
nigga.
great revelation that you're not African? Because 2 years ago you was talking that African shit
Okay,
hard.
all right, let's talk about it. Hey, 2 years ago I was talking African shit. So Sankofa boxing was a boxing show that I was doing. A motherfucking boxing series. In that series, which is still up, you know what I'm saying? You can go still see that series. All of the stories is about motherfucking Indian information. All of the boxers was motherfucking Indian people. All of my shit's still up, nigga.
You don't say
You know what
Indian
I'm
one
saying,
time
man?
though,
Yeah. All right, then,
bro. You
bars,
don't say
nigga.
Indian one time. You don't say Indian
All
one time.
right, all the
You say
videos still up.
Sankofa tribe.
The video,
I know. I
okay, so
showed. I
let's deal
sent
with
it to you.
Sankofa. What is Sankofa, brother?
It's a
It's in my ass, nigga. What's Sankofa? You on mute?
it's a tweet word for basically don't be afraid to go get your past. It comes from Ghana, man.
It come from Ghana. You sure about
Yes,
that?
I'm positive
Okay, you
about
said
that.
it's a Twa word. Who came with the top? Who brought them the Twa language?
Those people. Ain't
Fuck
nobody
out of
bring
here,
them no
nigga.
that language.
Fuck out of here,
Who brought it
nigga.
then? Who brought it
These
then? But
niggas
that's
be
still
cap.
listen. Those
Hey,
people
hold
brought in our
on. Let me
language. So
moderate
why are you
this. Let me
screaming
moderate
Sankofa
this.
tribe?
All
Why are
right,
you
now check
screaming
it out.
Sankofa tribe?
Now
But
check
you
it out.
banging on everything
What they
African.
say Sankofa mean?
You are of African descent, brother.
All right,
Stop
brother, just
lying,
hold
man.
on, calm down, brother, calm down. We'll get to that. What does okay? So what do they say this Sankofa mean? You don't know where the word come from. You talking about
I
twa? You
just
don't know who
told
brought the
you. I
twa.
just told you. It comes
Okay, you
from
don't know who
Ghana.
brought the twa. Okay, now let's go here. What does they say that it means?
I just told you. It means it's not taboo to go back and fetch something from the past. Like to look at your past. That's what it means, bro.
All right,
It's
all
not
right,
afraid to visit your past, bro.
okay,
What
okay,
does it mean?
all
What
right,
does saying Kofa
all
tribe
right.
mean
So
to
so
you?
let's
No,
walk.
come on.
Hold on, let's
I'm
walk.
answering mad questions, bro. Every question you ask, I answer. So now,
Listen, bro, I'm
why
answering
was
your
you talking
question.
about saying Kofa? So tell me. No, you asking me questions. Why was you talking
All
about
right,
saying
let's
Kofa
walk.
tribe, but
Let's walk.
everything is anti-African, bro?
Let's
What's
walk. Cause
up?
Sankofa ain't got nothing to do with no Africa, bro. That ain't really. Sankofa is a West African word.
Brother, you
That ain't
in the
no
beginning of your
African word.
show,
That's a
yo, see now look, in the
colonizer.
beginning,
That shit
if
came
everybody
out
go
of.
watch it, in the beginning he
Bro, just
says
relax.
Sankofa is a West African word. That's what you say. This is your
No, you
word.
correct. I
And then
said
you
that. All right, now let me now
then
let's
you
walk.
go into describe, then you go to describe how you're
What it
going
mean?
back into the past and looking at these boxes and
Boy,
identifying your ancestors and but you're using an African mind frame. And then
hold
at
on,
the
bro.
end you say
Did you
Sankofa
watch
tribe
the
up.
series?
What
Did
is
you watch the
Sankofa
series?
tribe? Bro, yeah, I watched a
Did
couple
you
of
watched
them.
it? Okay, so what were
You
we
don't say
talking
nothing
about?
Indian.
Was we talking
You
about
talk,
Africa? Did we talk about
bro.
Africa?
Yes. When you say Sankofa tribe, yes, you're talking about Africa.
No, 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 no. The
Yes.
series, brother. Because it's
They're
six
about.
series.
Oh, the
I did
series
six
about.
videos.
Listen, they're about old boxers of African descent.
So we
Don't
talked
change
about
it now.
Africa.
No, no, but don't change it now in
The
2021 if you're
video's
going
up,
to.
nigga. I don't have to
I
change it.
know. Yeah, I
Not
know
a
you can't change
coincidence.
it.
The videos are up. Anybody look up
I
Black
know. I
Murderers Row
seen it.
series. The video's up. And what we was talking about? We was talking about America on there. We talked about Indian history on each and every last one of them motherfuckers. Each
No,
one,
you
there's
want to
six of
make
them
it.
up.
No,
Videos
that's
up,
not what
cap
you
ass
did, though.
nigga.
That's
You
not what
ain't
you
watched
did.
it. That's what happened.
No,
Go
I
watch
watched.
it.
Listen, I did, brother. I watched it. I
Fuck out of
watched
here,
it.
nigga. Now let
How
me
am I?
tell you
I'm
the
telling
reason
you
why
what
I
it
use
said.
Sankofa.
I'm
Now let
telling
me
you what
tell
it
you.
says.
Hold
No,
on, brother. Let me tell you the reason why I use Sankofa. All right. So when I found out what Sankofa meant, I got it from one of my older homies. That's where he was at that time. But it was to go back. So when I did it, it originally started from hood documentaries. I go to different hoods I used to hustle at, and I talk to the old school doughboys and shit in them times that was on back then. And they was giving me the stories of how different hoods and sections was. I used to watch Kel Mack. On my first video I ever put up on YouTube, Kel Mack came and shouted me out. Like, hey man, do your thing, boom, boom. I like that. And so I use Sankofa because that's what the big homie from the corner had put in me. So when I went back to get them to tell their stories of the past, that was the best way that I can identify it, you know what I mean? Because it came from that vibration of what the big homie had gave me. And so it had nothing to do with Africa. None of the niggas that came on the screen talked about nothing about Africa. When I brought it into boxing and shit, all we was doing was going back in the past. So I used the word Sankofa, but it had nothing to do with Africa. All of the series are up. The Black Murderers Row. Y'all go check them out. That motherfucker got nothing but indigenous history. Soon as them hoes come on, them hoes got nothing but indigenous history of America in it. Then we go into the boxing story. That was my introduction to how I started teaching the coming to bring the history, but I was a boxing channel at first. So I had to, bring the mix the history in there with it to trick the niggas at first. You feel me? But that's how I got in, bro. That Sankofa had nothing to do with Africa. Nothing but if you would say it was a West African word. But we just took the meaning, you know what I mean, behind it. It had nothing to do with a West African prison, brother. You don't know me, but
so
I'm I
so
just
so
tell you
basically, hold on, bro. I didn't let you go. So
Go ahead.
basically,
You got
there's
the
no
floor, not a
Aboriginal or
coincidence.
Native American word for looking at the past. There's no word that you could have chosen out of your own culture. Not only
hey,
that,
listen, bro, that's not okay.
hold on. Not only that, but it's just the fact. It's fine that you use it, but you go so hard against these African or people of African descent. How it's just it just mind boggles you how you think these people are not when they call themselves African American. When you put your history out there, you put your own genealogy out there, you make yourself public. So you got people in you who you call in your family, like Buck Colbert. If you go look at his book, he specifically says he's an African American. He specifically says he was enslaved by these people, these Indians, these Native Americans. He makes distinctions between him and those people. Now, I think it was his son, you can help me out, or his grandson who also wrote a book who talks the same thing, African American. So it's just kind of funny now. I see you in 2019, you talking Sankofa, and then now you see a little movement 2021, you trying to jump in there with that, nah, we was never that. And you also, another thing that's funny that you do is you make it different from the Native Americans, them Asian looking motherfuckers. But in your clubhouse profile, you got somebody named Billy Powell or whatever, or something like that, some Native American. You can go look at his paintings that was drawn at his time, and he looks just like them people from Asia that y'all took out now. So it's like you got Asian people in your lineage, you got Africans in your lineage, but you just straight up disrespecting all of them. It's just crazy, bro. It's
I
crazy.
take you out on that, brother. All right. See, this is what happens when you be on the internet. You know what I mean? Nigga get to guessing and assuming shit. Well, you got a
Ain't
chance
no
to speak to
guessing.
me,
You
brother.
this is
Hold
what
on, brother.
you
You got a
said.
If y'all don't know what Cover Franklin is, they were freedmen. They was in Tulsa, Oklahoma during the massacre. He ended up representing them one of the and he ended up writing a piece on the event that took place there. All right, he got a son named John Hope. All right, that's what he's talking about. All right, well anyway, they were the Cobra family. All right, and so when he say they was enslaved, if anybody know anything about indigenous history of America, then you know that the Cobra family, who was Scottish Irish descent, they in the Scottish Irish, they end up hijacking these different tribes. All right, and so this Cobra family that he's talking about, that they was enslaved by wasn't Native Americans, they were mixed in. So it'll go back to damn, I can't think of the nigga name. It'll come to me. The Cobra that it started from, but James Cobra. My bad. Turn up. James Cobra. His kids end up becoming Levi Cobra. Then end up becoming chief of the Chickasaw tribe. See, you gotta go get your history. You gotta understand history. So when he's saying that, it was the mixed races was enslaving the other Chickasaw, the original Chickasaw. All right, now let's walk. Let me say this here. You said
But
you brought up
they call
Osceola.
themselves African Americans, brother.
Listen,
They
okay, with
call
the
themselves
African American
African
situation.
Americans.
So, what year was that, brother?
The year was what when the book was written.
What year was they calling themselves African
So,
American?
so in the beginning, oh, you can go right
No,
in
I
the
just
first
asked you a
chapter.
simple
Hold
question,
on,
fam.
I'm giving you the source of my information, which is your people's autobiography. So you can go to the first chapter. He says, my grandfather, Buck Colbert, was enslaved by Chickasaw uh, Indians. Then he
I
goes on
just
to
told you
say
that.
he was the first. He was nigga. You don't have to. I read it, brother. Then he goes on to say he was the first African American to fucking practice law in that area. He called himself African American, the whole shit. He even says when they say
What year
words
was
like
that,
state
brother?
Negro, this was all the way from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. He's talking about.
So when was the first?
Yeah.
So they was calling niggas African Americans back then.
He's calling himself that. Your peoples is identifying that as that.
So he was the first person ever to make up the word African American. Then that's what you telling me.
Of course not. But I'm telling you, your peoples is identifying African, and you're the most
All right,
anti-African
bro.
person I
At
ever
this
met.
time,
That's my
if you
question.
look
Why
at
are
it,
you so
listen to me, brother.
anti-African?
The book is wrote in the context of this time. Evidently, if you're speaking about African Americans, all right, that's wrote in the context of
But
this
if he
time.
knew, but that's what I'm saying. You go to say
So
your people
what
know
are
who they
African
was. They always
Americans?
knew they was. Nah,
So they
brother,
was
you
African.
you
So that means since
listen.
the book says African American,
If your
meaning that that
peoples
nigga was
that
an
came
African.
before you, if your peoples that came before you say they African American, you're African American, brother. If you're claiming that
All
descendancy,
right,
I
now
don't know
you
what you're
ain't
talking about.
saying, bro. All right, family, look, this you've been calling my name for this shit. All right, let's walk, man. Let's get to the Osceola.
I'm just showing you
I
how,
got you,
brother.
bro. You need to stay off of Google.
Just
I
say
got
you
you.
had a
Stay off of
revelation.
Google, bro.
Just say you woke up one day. Just say you woke up one day. I understand it.
Stay off of Google,
But
bro.
don't act like you always knew this. Just say
Stay
you
off of
woke up one
Google.
day and
Do
you
what, bro?
realize you Aboriginal.
You brought out
Hey, hey, Big Al woke up one day too.
you brought out a source that said African American, bro. You brought up a boxing information, bro. The
I brought
name
up
said
your
Sankofa.
words. I brought up no. I brought up
The
your
name says
words
Sankofa. It is
and your people.
a West African word, but where did they find the Sankofa from, though? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a drop on that.
Hold
That
on.
shit
No, no,
ain't
no,
originally
no. First of
Uh
all,
oh.
no,
That didn't
no.
come
First
from
of all,
Africa,
they
and
already
that's
had that.
recent.
Listen.
The Sankofa
Now here
situation.
go the distraction. He about to go to the Negro burial ground, Africa burial ground in New
Look at
York.
him.
He
Look,
about
he
to try to
running. He
distract
running.
y'all.
Yeah,
He
you
trying to
seen my
distract you. Go
video,
ahead.
nigga. You
No,
seen
that's
my
not.
drop
I don't
on
need
that,
to,
nigga.
bro. I can
Get
tell
that
you who
cap
did it.
ass shit out of
Yo, you
here.
don't even know who Fatima Jackson is, who did the DNA research on the shit. You doing surface shit, brother.
Hey,
You doing
look. Check him
surface
out.
shit.
Check him out.
You
So
doing
is the
surface shit,
Sankofa?
brother.
Was the
Come on,
Sankofa
I
on the
already know where
coffin?
you going, bro.
Was the
I know this
Sankofa
whole
on the
playbook,
coffin?
bro. Bro, Sankofa was around
Debunk it.
before that.
Do a drop and debunk it, then, nigga. My shit up. Anyway, let's go to the Osceola port since you a Google type of ass nigga. All right. And so, my kinfolk Osceola and them fought in the Seminole Wars. All right, these was the Seminoles. Now he said that Osceola was a Mongoloid. All right, this nigga here. When I did the drop, matter of fact, I just did it on the Cowboy drop the other day too. I brought out Osceola genealogy and walked it down. Who they was? They was his ancestors really came from Cuba. All right, now some of them came from Cuba. If you know anything about Florida and Cuba, they had been going back and forth to Florida and Cuba. The original Wiley Indians, who they called the Wiley Indians, the original Gullah Indians. This was Georgia, areas of Florida and shit like that, the Appalachians. They after 1763, the Proclamation Act, most of them left after the Treaty of Paris and shit. Most of them left and went back, left Florida even and went back to Cuba. A lot of them migrated over to Cuba. And so you get these Seminoles, bro. This nigga, his family was the governor of Cuba, and they end up he ended up marrying a lady over here, indigenous woman in America, bro. You don't even know what the fuck happened. That's why Osceola and John Horse was fluent in Spanish. Both of them was fluent in Spanish. They got reports when they got to the fort. There was some dudes who fought with him. They even identified the nigga as being Spanish because of how fluent he was in it. But he had his family. He had a side. His daddy's side, well, not his daddy people in them side was. I mean, his mama's dad in them side was fluent in Spanish as well.
So
And then they was black people. Listen, I got the books and shit that tell you that these people was black people.
all right.
So
So this is what
what
I'm
are you
saying.
talking about?
This is what
Talking
I'm
about
saying.
some
I'm about to
surface
tell you what I'm
level
talking.
shit, nigga.
I'm about to
You
tell
did a
you
Google.
what I'm talking about. You see, he switched he switched the whole Sankofa thing. He don't want to talk about that no more.
Man, look,
He
bro.
switched the whole. Hold on, bro. I was
Go give me some
nice and
information
quiet.
on me teaching on Sankofa.
I'm about to
That's
hold
all
on,
you
bro. I'm
gotta
about
do.
to listen. I don't listen. I'm talking right now. Let me. Can I talk? Can I get the same respect I gave you, please? So he switched that whole shit. He don't want to talk about Sankofa. He don't want to talk about his people saying they African American. He went to the O'Skelly thing, but he doesn't tell you that he was locked up, and a man named George Gatlin came and painted pictures of this man. So I don't care what he trying to say Spanish. Spanish could look black. It could look white. It could look Chinese. That don't mean nothing. Anybody can speak a language. Don't let him fool y'all with this
It ain't
word
got
that.
nothing to do with the
Hold
language,
on.
bro.
No, but that's
His
all he
family
kept
was
saying. He's Spanish.
spoke.
He's
His
Spanish.
family
He's
spoke
Spanish.
Spanish, my
That
nigga.
means
What are you
nothing.
talking
There was
about?
a painting that was painted of him while he was sitting in jail. I know
Get
you
the
know.
motherfucker, nigga. Go
I
get the
know
paint.
you know it is. So that's a primary source, and you can see
That
this
ain't no
man.
motherfucking
So you
prime.
don't.
Man, go
That's
on,
a
bro.
primary source. So that didn't happen. Are you saying that didn't happen? This is what I'm
Hey,
talking
that
about. They
ain't the
come
real
over here,
painting. That's what I'm
and
saying.
he.
That ain't the
Oh,
real
so yeah.
painting.
So everything is revisionized history. I know. I know, brother. I know. This shit is ridiculous,
Bro, you
man.
Googled that shit. Stay off of Google, bro.
I googled it.
I don't
Yo,
know
bro,
good
stop
worse
putting.
than you
Yo, what
Googling
you
or
need to
this nigga
do?
with the
What you need to
African with
do?
the K in his goddamn
What
logo
you
right
need to do is stop doing putting so much of
there.
your
Yeah,
personal business
that's what
out
I
there. If
thought.
you didn't have, you should
Hey,
go and tighten up.
listen, bro.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. You
So
saying you
go
come
give
from
me an
these people,
African
brother?
American in that time. Go give me some African Americans from that time, bro.
And what time?
And the time you talking about, since my kinfolk was the first person to create
I,
the word African American,
I
apparently,
never
nigga.
said. Who said he
Oh,
was
okay.
the
All
first?
right, bro. Don't come in with
Who
no
said he
African
was the
American
first?
shit,
No,
bro.
I said your people's claim to be African Americans. So why
Yeah, I got
aren't
you.
you?
I
That's the
got
question, brother. That was the question. Why are you
Yeah, I
so
got
anti-African if your people is African?
you. That I'm not in control of the family lineage. It's not me that can come out here and study something and go back and tell my grandma and my auntie and them that, hey, this is who we are. Now they know exactly who they are. You know what I mean? And I'm not one of these people who gonna come out here and tell you that I'm 100% Indian and I ain't got no, and I know what the hell happened here. You know what I'm saying? We have our burial sites down in Louisiana. We have two burial sites down there, one on 40 acres, another one on 100. On one of them, they have Spaniards. We have Irish. That's why I always talk about the Black Dutch here. We got Black Irish, Black Spaniards. We have Africans. I told motherfuckers that my grandma, her great grandma was mixed with African. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of flack from that in my community.
Right.
I'm not here to lie though.
Peace, y'all. OJ, Lucky, what's going on with you? Yeah, I'm still live. I see how to send a link. I don't know how to use Zoom like that. I just use it because it's easier to share the screen from the phone. Yeah, I put the link in there. I ain't gonna be on it that long. Yeah, man, it's all about sources. Like we didn't live at that time, so how can we can only go by what we can research, and these guys they don't want to bring no research. They don't even let you talk about the research. Me, I'm gonna go off of what I can find. These abos, they just speculate and put their own shit together. I don't understand it. Well, there's no critical thinking. Or my fight isn't even that. You have ancestry to America. There's a lot of black people who do. I do, but I understand that I come from many different places. To be that makes me. It's just that simple. They just deny. They say they're not mixed. They deny the slave trade. Shit is ridiculous. Word, I don't get it. Yeah, and it's like it's weird. The people that watch them, it's like you could tell it's a cult following. Because if you can't question something, or they don't even want to hear the question or the answers to it, that's how you learn. You could, they don't. It's just they just go with the flow. It's nothing different than church or any other doctrine. And then they always talk about Pan Africanism. Pan Africanism is not an ethnicity. It's a political and economical thought that we should spend our money together and we should vote together for our best interest because we were set aside and oppressed for all these years because of who we are. We're people of African descent. That's the thing. So it's called Pan Africanism. People of African descent, no matter how African you are or aren't, should stick together, spend money together, and vote together. That's all Pan Africanism is. They be saying some whole, they make it into like it's a race. No, it's an ideology. But like you could be a Pan African and be a Christian. You could be a Pan African and be a Buddhist. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I just don't get where their whole thought process come from. Yeah, but I'm gonna end this here, man. Or I hope this video stays up and he don't record this one. He recorded the last one. Lord, I try to go on his panels just to have a conversation with him. They just scared. All of them. A1. I got a video for A1 I gotta make too. Cause he be doing some bullshit. And I know he knows what he's doing. Cause he pulled a book out that I got the same book. He just skips lines and puts his own shit together. That's what they all do, man. I don't know. But Yeah, I'm out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all day.